Good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Rangers Review morning briefing. It is Wednesday, the 23rd of July. I'm Derek Clark. I'm joined this morning by Chris Jack. How goes it, Chris?
Weary, but apart from that, all good. It was a long old night last night, but not a good one in the end. And certainly plenty of positives for us to get into rather than what could have been a difficult night if the first half had gone a slightly different manner. So all good.
Yeah, I wasn't even at Ibrox and I'm a tad weary as well. It was a late one for me also, but we're here now to talk about Rangers 2-0 win over Panathinaikos. They're in the driving seat ahead of going to Greece next week. Good win for Russell Martin and the team. Now, before we kick off with everything Rangers, a quick word for our podcast sponsors. As ever, Willow's Fencing, the great guys at the Glasgow-based fencing company that you can trust and proud partners of the Rangers Review. They're offering free consultations, and you also get 10% off if you use the code Rangers Review over on their website, willows-fencing.com. Right, if you missed our post-match reaction show with myself and Joshua last night, folks, you can go and check it out. But Rangers winning by 2-0 after a bit of a harem-scarum first half, where Panathinaikos were denied some gilt-edged opportunities thanks to the good reflexes of Jack Butland. Finlay Curtis produced a real moment of magic to get Rangers going. The 18-year-old with a lovely curling effort, right-footed just from the edge of the area into the corner. Jedi Gassama then made quite the introduction, coming on as a substitute and almost a carbon copy of the strike, but a wonderful Rangers move, starting off with Max Aarons down at the Rangers corner flag into the feet of Hamza Egeman. He opened play up, found Mohamed Diamandi. He released the gas man, as he's been referred to, and he done the rest, cutting inside and firing a brilliant shot past the goalkeeper. Panathinaikos reduced to 10 as well. Rangers would see out the game, and we'll head over with a commanding lead, but I don't think anyone's getting carried away at this point, Chris. But you were at Ibrox last night. It was a bit of a roller coaster ride. What did you make of it all?
I thought the first half was not good. I thought the second half was a lot better. Overall, Rangers deserved to win, I think. Panathinaikos offered very little in the second half, certainly after the red card. Rangers they've done the job, or they've done half of the job, and put themselves in a good position. I don't think anyone will be saying this tie is over, that the place in the next round is already theirs. There's still a lot of work to do over in Athens next Wednesday night, but they've come through the first one. There was a lot on the table last night. It was Russell Martin's first game under the new ownership. Big Ibrox crowd, Champions League under the lights. There was a lot kind of on the go last night. So I think there will be aspects of it, I'm sure, quite a number of aspects of it that the manager's not completely satisfied with. I think to come through it, to score two really, really good goals, to have two impressive performances like that, and overall a decent performance from the side, certainly in the second half. So I think Russell Martin will be fairly content with a job well done last night.
Yeah, he'll be thrilled about it because, it's a high-pressure game for your first proper game as manager. And, of course, we've talked about, and he's spoken about, it's going to take time to implement his ideas. And we were warned about that. And the first half was very much that. I thought Rangers started bright enough in the opening minutes. And then Panathinaikos exerted a bit of control. Rangers looked like almost a rabbit in headlights at times. Players, for me, playing out of position. You can see what Russell Martin is trying to do. I just don't think he's got the personnel to carry it out as well as he would like at this point in time. For example, the left-hand side was a bit disjointed, but it's understandable. You've got to give them cut them a bit of slack and give them credit for fighting back when they were on the ropes a little bit. And Jack Butland deserves great credit for that, Chris. It was a big night for him as well, as much as we'll talk about Finlay Curtis and Jedi Gassama. Big night for Jack Butland because there were question marks, including myself, over whether he can be the Rangers' number one again. But putting in performances like that last night will help matters.
I think he deserves a lot of credit for coming into the side and performing in that manner last night. The saves in the first half kept Rangers in it in a period of the game where they were under a lot of pressure. That first goal, it looked like it was going to be Panathinaikos that it got it if a goal was going to come before half time. Rangers didn't really offer an awful lot at all, but Butland made some big saves in some big moments, and he actually makes a save and just in the seconds before Rangers then advance up the park, and Curtis gets his goal as well. So I think he can be really pleased with his performance. The manager was asked about him in the presser last night and also spoke about him. It was no surprise that Butland got he got the gloves last night. I think he's still, as it stands, the Rangers number one. We know there has been interest in other goalkeepers. That's an area of the side that Rangers could still look to do business in. All Jack Butland can do is perform when he's given the chance, and he certainly did that last night. I know we've spoken a lot about it. We've had pieces on the site, we've had guys on the show talking about it in terms of what Russell Martin looks for from a goalkeeper, how he's going to be involved more in the build-up play, and whether Jack Butland is going to be suited to that style of football or not. Ultimately, the most important aspect for any goalkeeper is to keep the ball out the back of the net, and there's no point in being brilliant with the ball at your feet, but then not being able to make saves. I think we know that Jack Butland can make big saves in big moments. The issue, certainly last season, was he was making too many mistakes that you just can't make as a Rangers goalkeeper. He's off to a good start this season. Hopefully that continues. If it does, that then perhaps gives the manager and the recruitment team a different question. Do they still go back into signing the goalkeeper, or do they think, well, Jack Butland actually has these qualities that we're looking for this season?
Yep. Graham gets in touch. Morning, Graham. He says it looked like Butland has lost some weight. No, he thinks he's looking a bit lean. Have you noticed that, Chris, at all?
It wasn't something that jumped out at me last night. I have to say, I just thought he played well. Now whether he's lost a couple of pounds or not, if he had played to him, but it wasn't something that I noticed. So I think he'll be really pleased with how he performed last night. A big night for him.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he has, given Russell Martin's comments about running relentlessly. He wants his team to basically run all day. And it certainly looked, for me, fit last night. He's still not at obviously the fitness levels he would want his team to be at this point, given we're just a few weeks into the regime. But I think the team deserve credit. I thought certainly the substitutes was a strong-looking bench last night, and they came on and done the business. Sai gets in touch. He says, a great result to kick off the new era. Yes, we rode our luck. However, the pace and move to score both goals deserve massive credit. Shooting from outside the box. Yes, more of that, please. Absolutely. The 2 goals, if you don't win the raffle, if you don't buy a ticket, as they say, 2 well-taken goals, as I mentioned earlier, almost like carbon copies, but Rangers have sort of been crying out for more of that, Chris. Not last season, but seasons gone by. That
will never catch on, will it? No, it's a welcome development to see Rangers having more attempts from that kind of range. Two really good goals has to be said. I thought the way actually Josh has got a piece on the site this morning, breaking down both goals and how both goals unfolded, and you have to say the 2 goal scorers, even before the finish, they do so well to get themselves into that position. Curtis receiving the ball in the type of area that the manager wants him to receive it in. A lovely touch, takes him inside, allows him to drive into that area. It's a lovely finish, and for a guy who has only just come into the side over the last couple of seasons, has had very little first team experience. It was a really accomplished goal. An interview with him is on the site at 12 o'clock, which you can see on the website and the YouTube channel. And if you wondered what it meant to him, I think that 7 minutes or so certainly sums it up. He came across really well in that interview, and hopefully that's the first goal of many more to come. Gassama, likewise. Well, that's the first of many. I think that's a type of goal we'll see Rangers score more this season. Playing out from a tight space, that really quick transition, breaking at speed. Gassama's clearly got a real turn of foot on him. We wondered, what's his end product going to be like. It's a brilliant finish. And again, gets himself in a good position, gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance, and it's a wonderful moment for him just a few minutes after making his debut and coming onto the pitch. So a lot to like about both those goals, and I think we'll see more of those type of goals over the course of the season. It won't be a case of Rangers trying to score the perfect goal every single time and work it into the box before you apply that finishing touch. If you've got guys in the squad who can do that, who have that ability from range, just go and utilise it.
Yeah, Naz, when we had him on the show, did say you'd instantly fall in love with Jedi Gassama, and he was right. What an introduction from him. Just on Russell Martin, on his press conference yesterday, we did touch on Finlay Curtis, and this is what he had to say about him.
I think, he's just had words of wisdom from Sir Alex there. I don't think you can ask for any more than that, and he has to keep his feet on the ground. But also, again, I spoke before the game with the TV guys about why he's in the team, and I think he has the character and the mentality to play for this club. I really do, because he had a sticky first half, like a lot of the guys, and then to come through it, take on information at half time, to run as he does, is brilliant for him. So it has to just be the start. We have to make sure with Finn that it is just a start, and he keeps improving and keeps wanting to improve, because that's the best bit about him, is his attitude and his willingness to learn.
There you go. He says it has to just be at the start. But what I like about that is he gave him the shout last night. I thought maybe Oscar Cortez might get the nod, but fair play to him. Finlay Curtis got the start, and another man of the match display as he put in against Club Brugge. I've got no issue if Gassama and Finlay Curtis could be the options on that wide left area this season, Chris. Given what you've seen so far, do you think Finlay Curtis has a big part to play in the senior setup this season?
I think he's got a bigger part to play, certainly in the shorter term, than Oscar Cortez does. And that's not that great for a club which has paid £4 million for him. The Cortez situation, it's looking worse and worse with every week, month game that goes on. Clearly not fancied last night. And Curtis, given his chance, takes it in brilliant fashion. Was given his chance against Bruges, got his goal, takes his chance. Has clearly done enough over the course of the pre-season to get himself into manager's plans, to put himself in that position to start the first game. Has clearly done more than Cortez has. Fair play to a young man. So people can watch and read that interview with him on the site next couple of hours. I think you really see what it means for him to be playing at this club, but there's no overconfidence there. There's no cockiness. There's no sense of him getting ahead of himself. I spoke a wee bit about that conversation that the manager mentioned there with Sir Alex Ferguson. That type of experience, to have that kind of night at his age, it really is the stuff of dreams. That we were leaving Ibrox late on last night, get home. How does Finlay Curtis go home? How does he get to sleep last night after playing in front of 50,000 at Ibrox and scoring a European goal? He'll be back into training down this morning. He'll still be on cloud nine, and fair play to him. He's got his chance. He's taken his chance, and the more often he continues to do that, if he does that, he'll stay in the team. But as you say there, having Gassama as an option, it's a really good option to have. I think the fans would have been impressed with what they saw with him last night. Issues on the other flank, safe to say. The right hand side wasn't quite as effective. That's certainly an area of the side that Rangers have to try and address in the transfer market. But certainly, if you've got Curtis on that form and on that trajectory, and you've got Gassama trying to get him up to speed, left hand side looks okay.
Yeah, well, Russell Martin singled out Kieran Dowley. Says he thought he was great last night. I thought it was just another Kieran Dowley performance, to be honest. He never really does a lot in a Rangers jersey, but again, I know people say he's playing out of position. He's not a right winger. I think Joshua said last night you can see him being part of the squad this season. I just don't. he's not a right winger. That's not see that again, please. But again, it's dependent on personnel and Rangers, as you said there, Chris, looking to bring in more reinforcements in those wide areas. And as well as that, Magic Man 147 has kindly donated to the channel, just centering on the defensive side of things. He says, can't play 4 right footers across the back, especially if fullbacks are inverting. Pitch becomes too narrow. Souter can't continue at left centre back either. Yeah, I've said it before. I don't like Souter at left centre back. And it looked off kilter yesterday with Max Aarons out there as well. Panathinaikos were targeting him. It's clear that Russell Martin doesn't fancy Jefte, Chris. He doesn't fancy Ridvan, who's not even in that European squad. Rangers need a left back, don't they?
They do. That's not going to that setup. It's not going to cut it. I think just go back on Dowell, like you. I thought it was just one of those Kieran Dowell performances where you go large spells of the game and you forget he's actually on the pitch.
Yeah.
Like, the game just seems to pass him by. You could maybe give him a bit of a pass and playing in a position that's not his natural one, but it doesn't offer enough. For me, anytime he's on the pitch, should probably have done better with the header second half as well. At least hit the target with it. So that's definitely an area that needs addressed. I say, much like Gassama can play off that right hand side, can play off the left. He looks like a really good addition. If Rangers can get another one like him, that's either predominantly right or can play off both sides, the final third starts to look a wee bit better. Other issues in the squad, as a comment said there, and as you've touched on, left back is a big one. It says quite a lot that the guy who was signed to potentially be the new right back is now playing left back. Clearly, Russell Martin has come in, doesn't fancy any of those options that he's got. Doesn't fancy Ridvan at all. Also not having him in the squad. Jefte clearly hasn't done enough in pre-season to convince that he should get that jersey last night. I thought Max Aarons better second half, much like Rangers. First half got caught out quite a lot. Didn't look that comfortable there. So he looks like the type of guy who could play left back if needed. It doesn't look like a long term solution. I don't think you're going to be building your side round about Tavernier and Aarons as your full back. So left back definitely an issue that needs addressing. But when can that be done? Now, does Ridvan have to move on first? You can't really be stockpiling left back options. If you've got Aarons there, Jefte, you've got Ridvan, you've got Robbie Fraser, who's also out the picture as well. You can't really just go and sign another one and have that many fullbacks on your books. So hopefully a Ridvan deal can be done sooner rather than later, and that would allow Rangers a bit more freedom to go back into the market.
Yes, Martin says, Dill did plenty of running. You weren't at Ibrox to see it, Derek. So I'm sure he did do plenty of running. Again, as I touched on earlier, that's what Russell Martin wants as basically a standard bearer from his players to do plenty of running. But I just, again, I want him to impact games and do something that the fans are leaving Ibrox going, oh, that was a tremendous performance from him. And we've never really had that from him up to this point. And a lot of comments coming in as well about Danilo, the forward line, Chris. Joshua got his team selection bang on yesterday. When I seen that forward line, I was thinking, oof, not much pace in there, that's for sure. And I was thinking to myself, where are Rangers going to get the goals? Danilo never really had too much of an impact on the game. I can totally understand why he started, given that Cyril Dessers and Hamza Igaman are behind in fitness levels. What did you make of Danilo's performance last night? I thought it was relatively quiet.
I think we said on the show last night before the game that it was a team and it's a squad that sums up where Rangers are in terms of the transfer window. It's not perfect, but it was never going to be perfect. You were never going to have a couple of new number 9s and have 4 great wide options and have a new left back and have everything sorted. It was a bit mix and match last night, but it did the job. I managed to get through it. That front three, it's not going to be the front three that starts every single week. It's not going to be the front three that ends the transfer window. I thought Danny was a wee bit unlucky with the chance that he had late in the first half. Also, he took a bit of a nick, and that takes it wide of the far post. Apart from that, didn't really have an awful lot in terms of sights at goal. I thought his link-up play was a bit off at times, a couple of wayward passes, but didn't really have the support at times. And Rangers couldn't really get up the pitch and couldn't really get round about him. So harsh to be too critical of him, but when you see Dessers coming on, you see Egeman coming on, you see Gassama coming on, Rangers look a bit more threatening with those options. So time will tell what the squad. Again, manager mentioned it last night. The squad will look different and hopefully look better over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. The forward line will look different over that time as well. So I think people have to be mindful of it's a bit of a stopgap team last night. That's not Russell Martin saying, this is my team, this is my squad, this is my best 11, this is us. It's very, very early in terms of the transfer window, very early in terms of the work they'll be able to do on the transfer or on the training ground. So I wouldn't be too critical of guys like Danilo. Again, clearly had a good pre-season. He's the man that's earned that jersey. He's the guy that's been in a position to take it. You would imagine he's the guy that starts next week in Athens as well.
Yeah, perhaps. A lot of comments coming in for the refereeing performance. I never knew this. I thought people saying that it was the referee that sent off Jeffy last season. I wasn't aware of that, but I thought he was good yesterday. The right call to send off the Panathinaikos player for 2 yellows. And I thought he was decent. Chris, would you agree?
I didn't realise it was the same guy either. Normally you get these wee kind of quirks that do the rounds and people can pick up on them, but I didn't know that at all. I think the bookings in the first half, certainly Suter and Raskin, Rangers played themselves into those situations, and you can't really argue with any of them. There was a Panathinaikos one, I think it was later in the first half, like a shot pull that was similar to those two. I thought it could maybe be a booking, but overall, nothing really to complain about. So I thought those two bookings for Raskin and Suter, I said Rangers could played themselves into those situations. You have to say both of them then did well after that, not to do anything daft, not to get themselves that second card. So overall, one of these games you don't really notice the referee that much, and that's always a good sign. And if it was the same guy as last week, or as last season, sorry, he's not upset as much as he did 12 months ago anyway.
No, that was possibly the worst decision I have ever seen in football. Well, until the Easter Road debacle, the tail end of last season. So yeah, certainly on a European level, it is up there, that's for sure. Interestingly, just on the style of play, Russell Martin said last night, I saw some brilliant stuff. We're asking them to do something so different to what they've been doing. So I saw some really great stuff, but we have to get better, and it's so early. The challenge is to make sure that there are less scary moments and that we play in a certain way all the time. But I'm not paying any attention to the draw. I mean that, talking about the potential opponents in the next round. There's just no point in looking ahead and wondering what if and what might happen. We have to get better every single day, and that'll start again tomorrow. The process of watching this game and understanding what the problems were and being ready for next week. So yeah, as I say, it's very much still half-time. I expect Panathinaikos to have a proper go on Wednesday. You'll be there for us, Chris. I think if Rangers can manage to get a goal, and I think the next goal is crucial. If Rangers can get that, surely it knocks the stuffing out of Panathinaikos. But I'm very much expecting more hear-em-scare-em moments in the game, because it is still clunky. It's still early days. What can you foresee happening next week? I think, incidentally, that the game on Sunday perhaps is a good one to have, just to get players more in tune with the style of play, with their teammates and positions on the pitch, that sort of thing. So how do you see the tie shaping up?
I think the second goal last night makes a big difference. A third goal last night would have made an even bigger difference if Rangers had been able to kind of push on and manage to get that third. That would have put them in a really strong position in the tie. Wasn't able to get that, unfortunately. But at 2-0, they're certainly favourites. They're certainly in a good place. First goal next week is huge. If Rangers can go there, start on the front foot and score early, you would imagine that should be enough. If Panathinaikos were to get the first goal, that puts a very different slant on the remainder of the game. I think Panathinaikos were taking enough from last night. They'll take enough belief to say we can score against this Rangers side. They will give up chances. They can be exploited in certain phases. I think they'll fancy their chances of getting a goal. It really just depends when that comes and how Rangers then react to that. So it's certainly not job done. It's certainly not a case of, well, let's just keep one eye on our tie and see who we're going to get. There's a lot of work still to be done, but I said they'll put themselves in a good position. And you'd rather have a 2-0 than a 1-0. You'd certainly rather have that than in a 0-0. So I think Rangers can be pleased after last night, but certainly not be getting too far ahead of themselves. Interestingly, I think I also said 2-0 on our pre-match show as well, didn't I? So
yes,
I'm looking for that. I belated self-pat in the back for that.
Yeah, kudos to you. You got it bang on that last night. It's Saturday that the Middlesbrough game, not Sunday, of course. And I've done a bit of Googling as well, just to clarify. The referee last season that sent off Shefty was not the referee that took to the field last night. He was Donatas Rumsas last night. The referee that sent Shefty off was an Italian chap by the name of Marco Guida. So there you go. I don't know where that rumour came from. A number of people saying it was the same referee.
Just completely ignore that 2 minutes of conversation then.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you go. I think it'll still be a hard game for Rangers next week. Incidentally, the potential opponents, if Rangers do manage to progress, Servette or Pilsen. Interesting result over there in the Czech Republic. Servette taking a 1-goal lead back to Switzerland. I think in terms of the draw, it's there could have been more sort of testing opponents, shall we say. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves here, Chris, but you would fancy Rangers against either of those if they manage to take care of Panathinaikos next week?
A lot of people last night saying that the draw for the Europa League, if Rangers were to end up in that competition, is more difficult than the draw for the Champions League. Interesting that Servette got that, managed to get that win last night. Again, puts them in a good position. Rangers know a wee bit about them, also having played them under Michael Beale just a couple of seasons ago. It's not the toughest draw that they could have got. I think they'll be fairly pleased with it. But as Russell Martin said last night, he's not even thinking about that. Not even looking at what could potentially lie ahead. Rangers still have a lot of work to do. Still have a fair old job to do when they go over to Athens next week. A lot to contend with in terms of the heat, atmosphere. Not sure that'll be as big a factor as people perhaps think. Also, not being at their home ground, that potentially takes a wee bit of the sting out the atmosphere. But it all depends on how Rangers go and approach it, and how they can start that game. If they can start on the front foot, certainly if they can score, there'll be a long way towards that third qualifying round.
Yeah, very much looking forward to the game, Rangers well in this tie and then some. So good start by all accounts, and let's hope they can build on that and move into. It's a huge game, of course, just with regards to European qualification, and of course, if they had gone out, or if they do go out at this stage, it looks like Besiktas or Shakhtar Donetsk, which won't be easy. A couple of rounds to play if you want to get into the Europa League group stage. So it's a huge game for the club's European aspirations this season. Right, we'll wrap up there for now. As Chris touched on, keep your eyes peeled for that Finlay Curtis press conference, which will be out on the YouTube channel at 12, or if you prefer to read your content, head over to the website and find it there. Those of you that are Rangers Review Extra members, we will record our Q&A this afternoon, 1 p.m. I was off on Monday, and then Tuesday, of course, it was game day, so we'll record it today. So I'll pop the request out on the community page a little later on. Get your questions in, folks, and we'll try and get through as many as we possibly can. Right, big thank you to Chris and to each and every one of you for tuning in to the show. Much appreciated. And yeah, enjoy your Wednesday. We'll speak to you later on. Bye for now.